Hi, I'm Ronna. I'd like to talk a little bit today on artificial intelligence in the visual arts, and I think it's also pervaded the arts in general, and I would like to address it from my own perspective. First, I'd like to just read the definition of art, because I think that that's probably a good place to start, is with defining what art actually is. Merriam-Webster defines art as the use of skill and creativity, particularly in the creation of beautiful or expressive objects such as paintings, sculptures, or poems. It also encompasses skill or aptitude developed through experience or study. Another part of it says the use of imagination to express ideas or feelings, especially in painting, drawing, or sculpture. It can also refer to the activities of music, painting, literature, cinema, and dance. Computers are incapable of experiencing emotion, so they can't create art. A computer is a machine, and emotion and art are intertwined. So the idea of using artificial intelligence to create a work of art is novel, and it's pretty vast, but it lacks what the computer spits out, lacks emotion, and that isn't just in visual art, but it is also happening in other forms of art as well. There's a relationship between art and human life, and the relationship involves emotions, and art conveys emotion. And so a computer cannot convey emotion because a computer is not alive. So art is a human endeavor. That being said, I want to explain to people who maybe don't really know how artificial intelligence is being used in art, and specifically in visual art. And so I'm going to try to explain a little bit about basically how it works. Artificial intelligence applications are just basically computer programs that synthesize information in the form of words or descriptions provided by the user, which is the artist, and they produce a pictorial composite or composites based on the input. So you could put in a bunch of words, you could put in a little description, or you can say, show me a picture of, and name a bunch of stuff, and it'll spit it out at you. And so as a springboard, artists are using that, but I think it's gone further than that, where they're actually creating an entire piece by just inputting a bunch of words, and then it spits something out at them, and they just basically transfer the computer's result, whatever the computer produced, they're just transferring it to canvas or paper or whatever their media they're using is. And the AI app's choices are for the composition are dependent upon the pre-programmed data and the algorithms that the application is using. That's already in all these words, and combinations of words are already in the app. And so it's just picking a bunch of stuff, and then it's creating something that the user of the app is basically, throwing at it. So these apps are considered creative tools, but there's no emotional component in what the computer is generating. It has no feelings for what it's spitting out, none. And that, somebody could say, well, but I'm the artist, I told it what to spit out at me. That's true. The computer spits something out, it produces a composite based on the words and phrases or description that the artist is typing in, speaking to it, however it's understanding it, and then it creates a picture, and it may print it out. The artist may even have a projector of some sort that projects it up onto a canvas, and where the artist actually traces the resulting composite, the resulting composition that is created by the computer. And even though the artist may even make alterations to the computer's result, the original composition, in this case what people would consider the artwork, was actually created by a machine. And so a lot of artists, I think because we live in 2025 and the technology exists, that the artist may think, well, this is just another new avenue by which to create art. But there's an issue in my mind with that, number one, but that's kind of beside the point, because it's made by a computer, it's made by a machine. But that's beside the point. I don't really have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is I've noticed that in art shows, especially if you're submitting digital pictures of your artwork to a curated show to be chosen for an actual physical show in person, everybody's artworks are being put together and judged equally. I'm not opposed to AI-produced pieces, but I think that AI-produced artworks should have their own category by which they're judged, as opposed to artwork that is being created by traditional means, which what I mean to be through just sketching ideas, combining sketches, even taking photos, combining photos, or working from a still life that is completely from the beginning to the end with no photography or anything. Everything other than an AI created piece. And so I think that if there should be shows that are either designated AI or there's a separate category for AI created pieces. I'm not against AI created pieces. I just think that if there's an AI created piece as opposed to a traditionally created piece, you're comparing apples to oranges, because an AI created piece is created by the computer. It is originally created by the computer. Even if the artist makes changes to the computer generated picture, it is still created by a machine. It was synthesized and created by a machine. And the artist is just making some changes to it, basically editing it. It would be like an author as opposed to an editor. They're two different people. And in this case, I think in terms of AI, the artist then becomes an editor. The artist is not the author. So I think that there should either be AI shows where everything is AI, or a show where AI is not allowed and there's no AI involved, or there is an AI category so that you have a traditional method category or traditional categories of art, and then you have an AI category or categories for art. I know that AI is not only being used in two-dimensional art, but also in sculpture. So you have other genres of art that it's happening in as well. That's it. I just wanted to express myself on that, and I hope that going forward, more groups will maybe reconsider how they judge artwork based on its merit and on really comparing apples to apples and not apples to oranges when it comes to visual art. Thank you for watching.